It's been an absolute nightmare start to Golden State's season. After the Chris Paul trade, team got even older and smaller. From getting rid of the unlikable Jordan Poole, who slept his way to the nation's capital, many believe the team's dysfunction last season and distractions now over because of the preseason incident with Draymond. Well, guess again, it's number 23 himself, who officially took back the title of most hated player reign from Dylan Brooks, making his polarizing self public enemy number 1. Team right now not having tons of fun. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. The Golden State Warriors, outside of Steph and Curry, has been an absolute travesty this season. Chasing them bricks, Draymond chokeholds getting them clicks, too much drama, lots of conflict. Jordan Poole, other side of the country, impressing them DC chicks. Steve Kerr, Mr. No Adjustments, where's his bag of tricks? No Steph Curry, Draymond ejected in a hurry. 5-game losing streak, y'all better be worried. Klay Thompson, AndrewWiggins, cold like McFlurry. The beginning of a dynasty downfall, not complete without 38-year-old Chris Paul. Team way too small, makes Minnesota look gigantically tall. Klay can't handle, Jaden McDaniel got dismantled. 2 minutes out the game, jump shot ran out of flame. And Edwards light y'all a candle. No Steph, whole team playing like postseason Julius Randle. 2024 title hopes absolutely cancelled. The big three of Steph, Klay, and Draymond, currently the longest tenured players on one team. It'd be a perfect ending for all three future Hall of Famers to retire a member of the Warriors, but everybody in different stages. Steph's still clearly a top 5 player in the game, looks as good as ever, as complete offensively as he's ever looked. Of course, Draymond's game drives off his star offensive teammates. Without Steph, a disgusting 44-71 overall record. No wonder why he wants to get thrown out when Curry's not playing. It's an absolute travesty. Klay, Wiggins, and Chris Paul, a combined whopping nearly $100 million alone on the season. Thompson, the 12th highest paid player on the year, a combined disgusting 44 of 165 from 3. Klay and Wiggins both shooting 40% from the field. Neither has a 20-point game yet. Only Saric and a rookie by the name of
Brandon Pojemski
dropped 20 outside of Steph, single-handedly carrying the franchise on his back. We don't expect 38-year-old Chris Paul to score a big load. It's who he is at this stage, but Klay before this season failed to reach an extension, wanting a max contract. The way he's been playing, no way, no chance is he anywhere close to the max, which leaves him a free agent come 2024. Unfathomable thinking Klay might finish his legendary career elsewhere doesn't seem right. Both him and the organization not seeing eye to eye, combined with not producing like a regular starter. For being considered one of the 5 greatest pure shooters all time, a career low 33% from 3 this season, playing 28.5 minutes, 23 assists, 22 turnovers, 26 fouls through the first dozen games after a promising 22-point average a season ago. The 33-year-old couldn't have gotten off to a more terrible start. An absolute embarrassing performance. No Curry, 1 of 10 from the field on OKC, shoots his team out the gym. A lot of mental stress. To his credit, the 5-time All-Star overcame massive hurdles. First, the ACL tear in the finals, the final blow that cost his team the 2019 title. Then preparing for the 2021 season, tears his Achilles during pickup. 2.5 years removed, needed to get his legs and rhythm back. With a well-behaved Draymond, a hungry Poole looking for an extension, a motivated Wiggins with Iguodala's strong presence in the locker room, something the team currently miss. Allow Klay patiently to get back in sync. Scored double figures every one of the 2022 playoff games, including a 30-piece Game 6 Memphis, 32 Game 5 Dallas. Despite no longer having the defensive impact, the younger Wiggins took on those challenges. 5 timely trades Game 5 versus Boston. Golden State absolutely wouldn't have won the 2022 title without Klay Thompson looking like Klay Thompson. The franchise rewarded him despite his ACL tear, 4 years, 140, knowing it was a massive risk, $68 million given while on the sidelines. When former star players decline, especially if you're not the #1 guy, front offices have every right to be hesitant. What Pau Gasol is to Kobe is exactly what Klay Thompson's to Steph Curry. Despite Kobe's Achilles tear, franchise still paid him lots of money for his greatness and impact throughout the years while Gasol left for Chicago. Could we see a similar situation to Klay? Despite his legendary games, Golden State will always and forever be Steph Curry's team. Thompson's lack of mobility and quickness about to happen after the horrific injuries, simply lives and dies from the outside shots. This snap out of a slump last season after getting ejected, feeling the emotional struggles when torched by Devin Booker, turned it around from averaging a tremendous 24.2 points from Christmas through the rest of the regular season, betting on himself, says he'll be an all-star again before it's said and done. With the loaded talent of today's NBA, young stars getting better, Golden State only 2 games above 500 when All-Stars announced last season, Klay felt snubbed even if he does get it going. All-Star absolutely not looking like it this season. Ended up making the most threes of anybody last season, his best scoring average since 2017, but almost a month into this season, Klay hasn't recovered from the brutal struggles in the Lakers series. Solid against the Kings first round, but was an absolute travesty in LA. From waiting 12 years to face his hometown Lakers, shot his team out the gym, continued to double down, literally looked like he was helping the Lakers. A much needed game 4, shit the bed down the stretch, 3 of 11, then 3 of 12, game 5 win, then 3 of freaking 19. Game 6 Klay's narrative went down the drain, 8 points in the closeout, 14 of 56 shooting, last 4 games. Had he balled out, Golden State likely would have beaten LA and perhaps give the Nuggets a competitive series in the conference finals. Klay would have likely already gotten another max. From airballing threes early in the shot clock, terrible low percentage shots, no legs to cut to the basket, a predictable habit. The franchise took care of him through all the injuries, gave him time to rehab, paid him to the max. With Steph still being Steph, it's Klay's time to pay the team back. Despite the 2022 title, it was AndrewWiggins who was the second best player in those finals. Being streaky like he always been, the excellent games now happen less often. Going up against elite defensive bigs like Anthony Davis, the paint literally shut down for Klay. Combined with a cold jumper, leads to disastrous outcomes. Given the 2-day playoff break, the grueling series, rusty legs, looks more like a 4th or 5th option these days. Not simply good enough to be number 2 anymore. Having an AndrewWiggins type deal, 4 years 109, even that's a bit too much. For the soon-to-be 34-year-old, already coming off several major injuries, 3 years 75 million, most realistic, and Klay needs to accept that reality. Diversify his offensive game, shoot some mid-range, or roll to the basket through backdoor cuts, get easier buckets to get his confidence going instead of bricking bombs, shooting his team out the gym when he's already missing a bunch. 12 years with the franchise, GM Bob Myers left the team. When asked on ESPN on Klay's path, his response:
what is the path forward for Klay Thompson and Golden State?
Well, this is why I left, first of all. Look, a lot of times people will say it's just business. But this is not a just business situation. This guy, there's going to be a statue of this player outside of Chase Center. He was instrumental in bringing 4 championships. He's beloved inside the organization, the fan base. So it's not so simple as it's money and years. This is why it was hard for me. Like, you get relationships with these people, especially if you've succeeded with them. And that core has been together for 12 years. And that's just so rare now. That just doesn't happen. And so this is a delicate negotiation. From what I know and see, he wants to stay. They want him to stay. Doesn't mean it'll happen. But it is a test. It's certainly a test, like Woj said, and this is probably the first real test.
Laughing as he tried to make the joke, having the utmost respect for his guys, Myers knew Klay and Draymond on the decline, didn't want to be the one to break up the big 3 despite all the money. Knowing fans are attached to their favorite guys, GMs responsible, making difficult basketball decisions that could ruin a long-time friendship as co-workers, combined with the new CBA. Golden State can't afford cap space, sensing a painful rebuild ahead. You certainly can't blame Bob Myers for wanting to leave. Draymond getting 4 years 100. Even after punching Poole in the face, if Klay continues to struggle, Steve Kerr might have to make the unpopular decision, having Klay come off the bench like what Kyle Korver and Ray Allen did the latter part of their careers, in a slower pace after the starters rest. Destroy the opposing bench unit, playing 20 to 28 minutes a game. Unless Klay in December can snap out of his struggles, go nuclear, everything I mentioned earlier will be irrelevant. Proven to be super capable, going off for a month or 2, but this time around, this stretch absolutely the worst Klay Thompson has ever looked in his career. In a long 82-game season, many question whether his legs could handle playing from October to April, May, and June. Does he need to save those legs by coming off the bench 17 straight games, including playoffs, failing to score 20+, unprecedented territory, showing too many holes, a liability when his shot's not falling, a subpar rebounder, not a playmaker, can't dribble well, barely gets to the paint, takes too many heat checks, and don't have the legs to hustle like the pre-ACL years? On to AndrewWiggins, 28 years old, 2 years removed from his All-Star appearance, one of the strangest careers, from being #1 pick, having all the talent to be a true star, to playing passive in Minnesota, is fully accepted. Wiggins, blessed with insane athleticism to be good at the game, clocks in and clocks out, satisfied with not putting in extra work, deserves his flowers for the title year, but also dealt with personal issues, took months off with father Mitchell Wiggins having a medical condition, just played 37 games a season ago, continued to be his usual self in the playoffs, but needing to step up, showed no sense of aggression, 10.5 point, 1 assist average, 13 dimes to 24 turnovers, and 31 fouls. 5 of 37 from 3, an absolute travesty. Losing Curry to injury and Draymond being emotional. The way Wiggins and Klay's been playing, if Steph misses 10 more games, team can easily go 0-10. One of the least efficient players the entire league, a negative outlier in all lineups. All the analytics makes many Warrior fans think James Wiseman's still on the team. At least Wiggins young enough to show effort, crash the glass. Only good at doing his baby hook shots on the post now. The body language seems he just agrees to show up to work and just give 50% effort. Already criticized heavily to show more heart, especially with Minnesota. Now Golden State fans will have to beg Wiggins to play harder. He's never been a guy who lives and breathes the game. If Wiggins retired tomorrow, likely seems okay with that. Or perhaps the rib cartilage injury suffered Game 5 when LeBron took a swipe. Struggled badly Game 6, rumors circulating whether he needed the whole offseason to recover, could just be getting back in shape. Wiggins, one of the most quiet guys, doesn't say much, never tries to draw attention to himself. When he balls out, always has that big smile on his face, but this early season, none of that's happening. Being treated as a non-shooting threat, doesn't drive to the basket enough. Could it be a mental hurdle of not wanting to re-injure his rib area again, leading to more passive defense? 2023 might have been the hardest year for him mentally, with lots of unexpected stuff with his personal life. Could it be those disgusting fake rumors having an effect on his mental state? All that with some injuries, given how much ball he's played since being a teenage prodigy. Last 12 months could be the least basketball Wiggins has played in any 12-month period since he started playing ball. If Wiggins don't get much better by mid-December, the panic button will be through the roof. Could it be the loss of Andre Iguodala, a strong vet presence? Or could it be losing his close buddy Jordan Poole? Both were super happy for each other when getting their contracts after the title. Or should Wiggins come off the bench for the more energetic Jonathan Kuminga? With Draymond's negative attitude, is this already a wasted year for Golden State? Can they turn it around, or is it already too late? Let me know your takes in the comments below. See you next time.